I'm watching a movie called Pump Up the Volume, starring Christian Slater. A review for that will hopefully be in the very near future. And as I'm watching it, I'm thinking about my high school life, my college life. But mostly I was thinking about the new YouTube terms of service. And how fucking fun they'll be to challenge, and how, like the government's version of terms of service, SOPA and PIPA, they'll fail. The Amazing Atheist, TJ Kirk, did a solid piece on why censorship on YouTube doesn't work. And I'll tell you why it doesn't work like TV and radio. You can attempt to fuck over your finest content creators, such as Philip DeFranco, Kyle Kalinske, TJ Kirk, the Amazing Atheist. And you can attempt to promote the SJW route. But the beauty of YouTube is its freedom. Now, do we have to follow certain rules on YouTube? Yes. We can't upload fucking nude giantess porn with a giant woman using a building as a fucking dildo. We can't do that. We can't post that shit. Because this is not a porn site. Obviously. But what we can talk about are topics that challenge us intellectually. The beauty of having people you disagree with is so that you can build your arguments. Is so that you can make your arguments better. If you disagree with someone on here and you think you have the better position, you can prove it. You can gather evidence against them. You can make a response video. That person can also make a response video. And it becomes this video response form of dialect, essentially. We have this thing of anonymity and yet openness all at once here on YouTube. We can choose to reveal bits and pieces of our lives. We can choose to censor ourselves. And that's the thing I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today right now is this. There are content creators like myself who already self-censor. There are YouTube content creators that limit themselves because of the limitations that are already on YouTube. For instance, why do you think content creators like Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman, and The Flickpick, and Tom Chattelbash, YouTube movie reviews, why do you think they have such a hard time getting copyrighted clips for their fair use, press-related movie reviews, journalistic movie reviews? You know, these guys are official movie critics on Rotten Tomatoes. You would think they would be allowed to use footage, but you can't. I'm friends on this site with a radio host in Connecticut. He runs a channel called Culture Dog. Or Culture Dogs, I should say. Primarily talks about home video and laserdisc, but we've gone back and forth about home videos. And he said a very interesting comment on my Where's the Fair Use video. He says, the Culture Dog says the following. I absolutely despise the guilty until proven innocent status quo. I would love to be able to add video clips to my reviews, and commenters get butthurt all the time about me choosing not to, but it's just too damn risky. Which sounds so stupid to say when I do things on TV and radio. It's expected that you're going to use AV clips to enhance your piece. So much so that the studios actively give you the materials to use because they're smart enough to realize that it benefits them in the long run. But on the tube, I don't dare use the clip. I don't dare use the video clips that I have been supplied to me, because a bot isn't going to know that I obtained those directly from the studio or home video distributor. And then it's my job to fight against their lack of knowledge. I've got no idea how that's become considered an acceptable implementation of copyright law. Now I would say Culture Dog has a lot more experience on radio and television than I will ever have. I've never been featured on the goddamn TV. I've been featured on my college's radio once, maybe twice. So, YouTube, don't give us new terms of service where we have to censor what our content may say just because it's a little unpopular. Do you know why people are getting pissed off at Twitter and Facebook and all this shit? It's because they're becoming the PC police. It's because they're abusing their power. It's because they're fucking overusers. Now, to be fair, sometimes it's warranted. People don't talk about this. With a Minneapolis Twitter ban, motherfucker could have been charged with libel. Okay? I'll supply you the Secular Talk radio broadcast of the libel of the actions Molly Annapolis did that could be considered libel. So I would argue if he committed libel on his Twitter, then the ban was justified. Otherwise, it is a violation of his freedom of speech. But if it is libel, it is understandable. But that's not the point of this broadcast. Broadcasting myself. Isn't that what you encouraged for me to broadcast myself, YouTube? Correct? Am I correct? How dare you try to censor me just because I'm using your platform? Just because I built myself up on your platform since 2010. Now, fortunately for me, I don't rely on YouTube for my income. I don't rely on YouTube money, because you know what? I've talked to people who rely on YouTube as part of, if not all of their income. When I interviewed the host of a YouTube movie show, right? Interview can be found here. Interview can be found on my channel, I should say. When I talked to him, he told me he doesn't make shit off of the money. And people are like, oh, well, become part of a network. Guess what? He said the networks are butt fuck you there. The networks and the fucking partnership program fuck you over. They take some of your revenue. Or multi-channels, they take your revenue and fuck you in the ass. And that is not right. But because you need the multi-channel network, because without the multi-channel network, you are not guaranteed a copyright security. You are not guaranteed some leverage to fight back against. I've been considering joining Screenwave for a couple of months now. Mostly because they copyright claimed one of my videos and I wanted to call them to get it revoked. But worst comes to worst, I'll keep it up and delete the audio. Whatever. As the Amazing Atheist said, YouTube, you're gonna fucking fail. See, many people forget why the user bases of Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the social networks themselves all united as one. Some may argue from the cynical standpoint that it was a monetary concern, which has some truth in it. But if you're going to go with the optimist point of view, which I'd like to go with this time around, please try to ignore the noise. I'm washing some clothes right now. My apologies. I do that sometimes in my videos. Washer picks up. But as I was saying, if you're going to take the optimist point of view, you're going to look at this as YouTube the Beautiful, as that was an action where people, whether they were part of a corporation or just using the services of a corporation, got together and said, fuck you, big brother, fuck you. You were not going to censor me. You were not going to attack my freedom of speech with your fucking bullshit by using copyright laws to censor me. And you know what? The users of YouTube are already saying, hey YouTube, hey, your new terms of service can kiss the darkest part of my white ass. You hear that, YouTube? You can kiss the darkest part of my white ass. You're not gonna stop me. I've already been flagged 3 times, and I played your little game. I played the waiting game. I waited a couple of months, didn't post anything that could be considered controversial, and the strikes went bye-bye. Or I disputed a couple of the strikes. Actually, I complied with the strikes, because I'm going, hey, it's a fucking shitty video. I burnt it on the DVD. I'm good. I'll just show it to my friends. Does it annoy me? Yes. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what videos are you talking about, I'm talking about the videos that are montage related. Now, I've also talked to some radio hosts at my college who do disagree with me on this part. Now, one of the things I've been wanting to do with this channel, and one of the things I've been fortunate enough to do with this channel is expand it through basic technological means. I showed a video giving you a brief analysis of my tech setup, which was a 2011 laptop, a Blue Yeti mic, Rebel T3i camera, Samsung Galaxy S5 phone, and a Toshiba laptop upstairs, which I used to edit a lot of my more modern videos. Or there, it's easier to render videos on there than this machine I'm using. But this one has the mic set up, and I don't want to move the mic. At the end of the day, some may argue that censorship is warranted, that censorship can be justified. But censorship, I would argue, is wrong, because it gives you the illusion of safety. It gives you the illusion that you're intellectually superior. Look, there are ideas that are flat out dumb. White supremacy, anti-Semitism, homophobia, just race superiority in general. Yes, I'll admit I've played my fucking people are more superior to your people, but I've only done that in the face of fucking bigots who come to my channel just to troll me and just to get me a little triggered, which I'll admit, sometimes I get a little bit pissed off, and I'm not going to say the lines you don't want to cross. I've probably said the lines a couple of videos, but YouTube, the content creators on this site will self-censor themselves. Now, I would argue this is different than government regulation with banks. Well, it's obvious. A corporation's goal is to make money, make profit, and fuck over its employees any which way how, if they are given the opportunity. History has proven this time and time again. That is why unions are necessary. Actually, I never got a chance to talk about FUPA or the next chapters in the Where's the Fair Use movement. I don't think I ever got to say this little story. I went to the Too Many Games convention in Oaks, PA, and I got to meet several of my favorite content creators. I got to meet Pat the NES Punk. I got to meet Linkara. I got to meet Norm of what the fuck's that show he does? Fuck, I'm forgetting the show right now. I'm probably gonna Gaming Historian. That's it. Gaming Historian. That's one of my favorites. But while I was there, I saw Doug Walker on the floor talking to some artists. And I was fanboying out, to be, well, who wouldn't? It's the fucking nostalgia critic. This is a guy that has been an unofficial film school teacher for me. Him and James Rolfe, respectively. But I got to meet him. And I got to shake his hand and say to his face, thank you for creating Where's the Fair Use? Thank you for creating that movement. Got a little teared up while saying it. Because, this is a guy who inspired me to start movie reviewing. Him and several others, but his style of video presenting is what really got me into doing what I do. It's probably one of the reasons why I'm so blunt. I'm blunt because I've listened to content creators that are extremely blunt and to the point. Look, there's anything we can learn from the 2016 election campaign, it's that Donald Trump's been winning because he's a blunt son of a bitch. He's a blunt motherfucker who doesn't care what he says until now when it's getting a little bit more serious with the general election coming up in a matter of months. On YouTube, the majority of people who I'd say are in their teens to, let's average it out, ballpark it, early 40s? I know it's a big range, but let's keep it real. I think a lot of content creators are of that age range, to be honest. And because of that, now yes, you'll argue, well, there are kids on YouTube and they're the toy channels and stuff like that. Yeah, look, I review the occasional action figure here and there. I like to set up my camera, talk about the detail of the figure, the look of the toy, the little articulation. I know the drill. I'm a toy reviewer myself on occasion. But that's not what a lot of people on my channel give a shit about. That's not what a lot of these controversial YouTubers care about. They're not caring about being family friendly. Do you think TJ Kirk of The Amazing Atheist would have gotten anywhere on a radio station? No. In fact, I would argue you gotta be stupid to think that. Do you think Doug Walker and James Rolfe or Pat Contry would be able to work on TV with the content they produce? No. That's the beauty of YouTube. That's the beauty of it. Now, let's keep it real. Hey, YouTube! Again, your content creators already self-censor to a degree. Do you know what a lot of people I'm seeing are starting to be attracted to? The people who get on a fucking webcam or a fucking little tablet cam and start bitching to it and just venting their frustration and angers to the world. That is why channels like Lunatic London, Rambo Rap for Life, OCP Communications are slowly on the rise, having thousands of subscribers and their own little cult following. These people wouldn't have had a voice. Oh, sure, there was public access, but public access was few and far between. It wasn't like YouTube. YouTube is public access, with the only limitations of you gotta deal with Content ID and terms of service. YouTube, your slogan is broadcast yourself. Well, I'm doing what the main character in Pump Up the Volume is doing. I'm broadcasting myself. I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm talking to a audience of people who may care about what I have to say. Maybe a few trolls thrown into the mix just to make it fun, just to spice it up a little bit. I've always had my trolls. Always had my trolls, I would say, since 2012, maybe 2011, primarily 2012. It had to be 2012 because that's when I started doing my political videos. But at the end of the day, The beauty of YouTube is the ability to be independent of the mainstream censorship. I would say George Carlin was one of the greatest philosophers of the 20th century. Yeah, I just called Carlin a philosopher. Sometimes he was a huge pessimist, but occasionally in his comedy, or philosophy disguised as comedy, there was the hint of optimism. That was when he was exposing how stupid censorship is. Censorship is for the weak-minded. It's for the people that can't handle the hard facts of life. I, as a YouTuber, choose what I want to show my audience. I can do that. I can upload whatever I want from this computer as long as I got a big enough hard drive to do it and store the data. I'm good. Your terms of service won't stop the ranters, the reviewers, the commentators. Won't do shit. You can't stop us. The U.S. government couldn't. What makes you think you can? Just because you own the site? Bitch, we own the site. You provide the service. We use the service. And we'll make sure the service works for us. You can choose which content creators to promote, but there will always be those that slip through the cracks, like Leafy, Pyrocynical. They'll always slip through the cracks, and there always will have controversy in their way, but they'll keep trucking. Because that's what users do. That's what you do when you are provided basic stuff. When you have a mic, when you have a hard drive or two, when you're provided with a voice, you're expected to use it. You're an audience member of mine and you're afraid to start your goddamn YouTube channel. I made a video about starting your YouTube channel with the most basic shit. Look, people will criticize you like, oh my god, why don't you use a Blue Yeti mic, or why don't you get a better setup, or DSLR camera, why can't you improve your video quality? It's called budget, bitch. Some people can't do it. Some people can't get the great equipment to do it. But if you got a passion, if you think what you have to say is worth sharing through YouTube, if you think you have something of substance to say, hell, even if you're just fucking showing video of your fucking vacation, post it. You may find a niche. I've been here for 6 years and I've found my niche, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud that people have seen my content and like it. I do a variety of content like one of my idols, Zaran Izarak. Variety is the spice of my channel. It's the spice of YouTube. Variety of opinions. Variety of political commentators. Liberal, conservative, anarchist, libertarian, socialist, whatever. The beauty of YouTube is the freedom to broadcast myself. To broadcast yourself. And they can try to take it away, but they won't. As I said, you provide the service, we use the service, you fuck with us, your service dies, and you'll be begging us to come back. So, Susan, my darling, I'm speaking to Susan Wachowski. You have an option. Get your shit together, or we leave. Some people are very successful without a YouTube channel. And some people will be screwed. But they'll find a way. That's the struggles of life. We get knocked down and we get back up and we keep on moving. Never let shit like this get in the way of your voice. Because the only thing that'll stop your voice from moving is when your brain stops working, is when your consciousness, is when your conscience, is when your cognitive thinking stops working, it's when your heart stops beating. That is when your voice will be silenced, when you're dead. As far as I'm concerned, I want to live to be fucking 100. I want to live to be in my goddamn 80s. To see the world, to see what it evolves into. Eventually, I'll do a video about death. I haven't done a video about that horrifying topic. Anyway, this is darthbriboy. Live long and prosper, and have a nice day, and do your thing. And enjoy the content providers that exist on this great site.